things. This is the new killer right here. It is the Plague. Now, if we're going to go through, these are her 3 perks. Right, unlocked at level 30, you have Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention steals 3 generators for 120 seconds at the start of the game. They are the 3 generators furthest away from you. For example, if you are spawning on... If you're spawning on a map like Hattonfield in Myers' house, it's going to steal Jenny's in the far left corner and the far right corner. But if you're spawning on something like the Colwyn Tower and you spawn inside the Colwyn Tower, it's going to steal 1/2 of the map on the opposite end. So depending on how big the map is and your spawn, this could be okay. I'm not going to tell you it's great. It would work really well with Distortance to know when 2 people are working on a generator. Keep in mind, you are sacrificing this perk after 120 seconds. My honest opinion, if you run Ruin, Ruin's a lucky perk. Ruin might last the entire game. Ruin might get broken in the first 10 seconds. This could potentially, not going to say it, chat's going to hate me for it, be good like Ruin in terms of you need to get it out. But remember, you only have 120 seconds, and if you're versing immersed people, it could be difficult. I would not run this perk personally. If I were to run this perk, I would be running it on Michael Myers to get out of stage 1 sooner rather than later and funnel the survivors to the middle of the map. People have told me to be good on the Trapper. I do not agree with it being good on the Trapper. And the reason I'm going to say that is the Trapper needs to prep. And generally you want to prep around the center of the map or hotspots where survivors are going to loot very often because they're powerful pallets or powerful windows or both to utilize. So that being said, if you're going to steal 3 Jennies at one end of the map and then start trapping the middle, somebody's going to see what you're doing and be a pain in your ass and come and set off your traps. I don't think it wouldn't be too bad on the Pig as well. It could work on the Spirit. I mean, you could use it on anyone realistically. You could use it on the Hag, but honest to God, I'd say Myers would be the only person who benefits greatly from it. The Wraith could run with it, but at the same time, Myers would be the best pick. Alternatively though, instead of running Corrupt Intervention on Myers, you could go Distortance and Monitor Abuse, and when you have T3, go over to a generator that there's 2 people on, pop Tier 3, down 1, then chase the other, and now you've immobilized 2 players at once. Do you know what I mean? It's not an amazing perk, okay? Moving on to the next perk. This is called Infectious Fright. Now, what is good about Infectious Fright? Infectious Fright is a pretty damn good perk. It was a little bit bugged in the PTB, but right now it is not bugged. What I mean by that is if you've ever versed a doctor or played the doctor, you will know when you scream, you leave a black stain above your head, which shows the doctor where you were where you screamed, right? This does the same thing. So if I were to down a survivor with an M1, any other survivor within my heartbeat, whether that be 16 meters, 24 meters, 32 meters, 40 meters, no matter how big my heartbeat is, whenever somebody is in that terror radius, they will scream, and I will be able to see where they were at that time. It is counted by lockers. If you're in a locker, I will not see the scream, but I will hear the scream. So you still make a sound, but you don't leave the notification on the screen. It is much better this way. Back in the PTB, it had the auras glow, which is way too powerful. This is a decent perk. Now, I know a lot of people are speculating, oh, we could run this on any killer, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, if you down someone as a trapper and you look around and nobody screams within 32 meters, you know you're good to go. You know you could place a trap. You can get that guy on the hook, and you only have to worry about one person seeing that. I personally think this kind of perk would excel on 2 killers. Yet again, we're going to go back to Myers. It could work well on Myers. When Myers is in tier 2, he has a 16 meter heartbeat. When he's in tier 3, he has a 32 meter heartbeat. And if you have a 32 meter heartbeat and you're running Monitor and Abuse, you actually have a 40 meter heartbeat in chase. When you do that initial hit with tier 3, you have a 40 meter heartbeat around you where people are going to scream and reveal their location to you. It's not bad. It's a good idea, but alternatively, remember, it only works on M1, so it won't work on a chainsaw. It won't work on a throwing axe from a huntress. It won't work on the vomit from the plague. What it will work on will be the nurse's M1. Yes. If a nurse blinks over and M1s you down, she can see allies around within 32 yards that are close. Generally, the nurse can blink 20 meters in 2 seconds and then 8 meters in 2 seconds. So she can generally close around 28 meters in about 4 seconds. This being said, she can be running the Pinecone or the Grasp and have longer blinks up to like 32 yards, depending on what she has. This could be a very painful perk to verse with. I feel this perk is kind of at the same level of Make Your Choice. Now, a lot of people may disagree with that, but at the same time, it's going to give you situational awareness, map presence, map pressure, know your rotations. I'm going to expect to seeing a lot of people running Infectious Fright and Knockout on the nurse. It's going to be a powerful combo, don't get me wrong. Out of all the perks that this lady unlocks, the Plague, I strongly think Infectious Fright is one of the stronger ones out of everything. Remember, you have to M1 them down. It doesn't work if I put a bear trap on the ground and you step in it and I hit you as Trapper, you will not scream. No, even if you free yourself from the trap, you'll fall to the ground and I won't get the notification around. So you can't like do a delayed kind of trick with it. It's not a bad perk as long as you're going for someone like the Spirit or even Michael Myers. Moving on to the next perk. This is called Dark Devotion. Now, Dark Devotion is actually a pretty decent perk. If we're going to go into details real quick about it. Okay, so when you hit your Obsession. Now, remember, Obsessions can be affected by perks like Remember Me, Save the Best for Last. They could have Decisive Strike. There are quite a few options on the table now, which is good. It increases the pool of perks, making you have to kind of question, does he have this? Does he have that? Now, this perk is when you hit your Obsession, the Obsession takes your heartbeat for 20 seconds. In fact, it's not even your heartbeat. They take a 32-meter heartbeat. So if I'm Michael Myers on a 16-meter heartbeat and I hit my Obsession, he now takes a 32-meter heartbeat wherever he goes for 20 seconds. All right? This is an okay perk. If I was going to use this, I would be using it on Myers as well. Keep in mind, it's a 32-meter heartbeat, so you're probably going to want to be playing a killer with 115% movement speed. You're not going to want to be playing a hag with Modern Abuse and Dark Devotion. You know, you're stacking something for a smaller heartbeat and losing a heartbeat and your 110 movement speed. Not really that great. It does not hide the lullaby from a Huntress or from Freddy Krueger. So instantly, boom, neither of those two can use this perk to its fullest potential. Keeping on looking at this perk right now, though, if Michael Myers were to hit someone and he runs to one side of the map, literally the second you hit him, you do a 180, you go the opposite way, and you block line of sight, you get around a corner where you know people are working, and you tier 3. Dark Devotion can work really well alongside Distorted, but personally, due to the fact that Myers is 115% movement speed with a 16-meter heartbeat in tier 2, the only killer with a 16-meter heartbeat at 115% movement speed, you can stack Modern Abuse and make that heartbeat go down to 8 meters, and then fuck, if you want to chuck on the Dead Rabbit, you can make it go down even further, down to 6 meters. The fact that you already have a tiny heartbeat, I don't think that's worth it. Do you know what I mean? This is too, I need to find my Obsession to get it to work. You could chuck it on Leatherface, M1 somebody, then walk around the corner and try and go for a double chainsaw. I'm sure you might see a YouTube video of somebody doing it. But I'm talking about the fact that you have to find your Obsession with this perk. It kind of makes me pull back the Dying Light. You have to find and kill your Obsession, as opposed to Save the Best for Last, which is a very strong perk, as you don't need to find your Obsession. You want to avoid your Obsession. P.S. If you vomit on somebody and you have Save the Best for Last and you don't have the lethal vomit, the Corrupt Vial, you still get a stack if you make him hit the Unbroken status. Little fun fact for you there. And if you do have Corrupt Vial, you get a stack as well. So you can go 1 stack, 2 stack if you had 2 people at once. It can be incredibly good, but at the same time, I'm not going to put that in my final build for the Plague. Alright guys, that is going to be all for today in terms of the killer.